So, Brook Lopez for Defensive Player of the Year. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
Without calling nobody trash or saying if you don't believe what I believe, you are stupid. I'm just going to give you some information and you think about it for a little bit. So, the thing about Defensive Player of the Year, right? It's hard to gauge defensive value a lot of times because there's so many things that you do defensively that don't appear on the stat sheet. Like the NBA has tried to quantify it with various advanced metrics and certain stats. So I will use some of those in this argument, but I do want to reiterate the fact that so much of defense is eye test. When you see what a player is doing. And because, I mean, you can see a guy who stalls another player, but like he got to get the ball out of his hands real quick.
Right.
Mess up the whole possession, and you like, well, the best player ain't got the ball in the hand no more, but that's not going to show up on no stat sheet. Like, it's just the way that the game went. So, when we look at a team like the Bucks, you see that they have Jrue Holiday, arguably the best on-ball defender in the NBA. You got Giannis Antetokounmpo, a prior Defensive Player of the Year himself, and arguably one of the best defensive players in the league. So, when you look at that and then you see Brook Lopez, some might argue like, well, then does Brook really affect what they do? Mentioned it earlier. Most important positions on the NBA court, especially when you're talking about defense, center and point guard. When you have a point guard like Jrue Holiday at the point of attack, and you have somebody like Brook Lopez behind him, that allows for your point guard to take more risk, to try a little bit more, like to do some more because he knows he has help behind him. That does a lot for a team dynamic, and that's part of why the Bucks defense has been so successful. Well, I mean, since Bud got here, but who would have thought? Bud's signing here coincides with Brook Lopez signing, and the Bucks have finished the top 10 defense every year, except for the year where Brook Lopez did not play, aka last year when he missed 69 games, and the Bucks finished 14th in defense. This year, healthy Brook back, top 3. And not three. And like I said, Brook allows for the guards to take risk at the point of attack. You know, he'll be there. He also unlocks Giannis defensively because Giannis can do what he does best, and that's play free safety, roaming around, trying to spot stuff when he can. And also what Brook allows him to do, when talking about defense here, he boxes out. He takes a lot of dudes out the way so Giannis can go and inhale some rebounds. It's a nice thing. You won't see him with high rebound numbers because, you know, about 4.5 a game, but he allows Giannis to get that double-double every night, Bobby too. And looking at steals or blocks alone won't do it all the way, especially with steals, because you can have somebody who has a lot of steals, but they also reach for a lot of steals and they got a position that messes everybody else up behind them because
everybody got to rotate.
Yeah, because now you take too many gambles. But when talking about blocks here, Brook Lopez does lead the NBA in total blocks, 169, and block percentage, 67.1. God dang. Like I said earlier, there are some ways you can impact the game defensively without showing up on the stat sheet. Like contested shots. Well, the NBA does track that. And Brook Lopez is first in the league. He has contested 1,162 shots, a whopping 17.3 a game. Second place, Evan Mobley and Nick Claxton, who have 749 for 11.9 per game. Brook Lopez is also first in the league at defended field goals, 22.6 per game, and opponents are only making 46.4% of those shots.
I do want to add a point about contested shots.
Please do.
He's so good at contesting shots that the Bucks have built their defense to funnel players to Brook so that he can get like it isn't an accident that he's contesting more shots than anybody in the league, because like that's what they built their defense on, because he's so good that they're like, hey, feed me more, like give me some more,
go get
bring
them
them here, and I'm gonna spot this shit, or I'm gonna at least alter it so that they're not getting a clean shot.
And he moves so well in space to be a 7-footer. Like the way he's able to run that drop coverage is wild. You might bring up someone like Jaren Jackson Jr. and say, well, hey,
Triple J.
He's also an anchor in Memphis. He's the cog there, and that is very, very true. He has been doing this thing. Matter of fact, he's averaging more blocks per game than Brook Lopez is, but he's also played 17 fewer games. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Also, with Jaren Jackson Jr., his Achilles heel is the fact that he fouls so much. Triple J averages 3.5 fouls a game this season, and over the last month in particular, he's been averaging 4.1. So what good is a defensive anchor? They in foul trouble all the time. What can you really protect from the bench? You gotta worry about that with Brook Lopez. He's only averaging 2.5 fouls a game with all of those contests, with the Bucks funneling players to him, with all of those block shots. Brook does it without fouling at a high rate.
That's really good.
He's also first in the league at defended field goals, 22.6 a game. And I said that part already. Point is, y'all, Brook Lopez, defensive player of the year. He should be it. I stated my case.
It's just not on the sheet. It's on the eyes too.
It is. If you watch the Bucks play, you see how important he is. And during that Kings game yesterday, he also played enforcer. Love it.
On every level.
Love it.
He don't just protect the paint, he protect Giannis.
Protecting his teammates.
Ain't gonna let them do that shit to you. I got you.
Brook Lopez is a scary man when he's angry.
It's a big
Both of the
motherfucker,
Lopez's.
Because they so big, it's just like, whoa.
They get the crazy eyes. Like they get wild looking.
I met him in person, bro. He was big as shit.
It's a picture after he's getting ejected. And Bobby's standing next to him, and Bobby just has like this little proud smile on his face. Like a proud father, like, that's what you do.
That's what I'm talking about, fam. Grab the back of his damn neck like that.
And Brook didn't even try to hurt him. He just tried to stop
him. He moved the whole pile. He was like, bro, no, you finna go this way. No, Brook, no, y'all going this way. Everybody going this way.
It's like, I mean, I know they're nerds and they, mild mannered, but it's the last person I want to try.
Hey, sometimes nerds is the last ones you want to try. They just be minding their own business. Don't get them out their bag.
I do want to say thank you, Magic. Because that man was a Laker, and Magic was like, "No thanks."
No, he was really good.
Yeah.
He was really good.
Yeah.
And we were just like, the hell.
He was still putting up 20 a game when he was
bro. He's putting up double. Dog, come on, dog. Pulling threes. He was more athletic than bro. Come on, dog.
And I will say this too about Brook Lopez. I think part of why he had this resurgence this season is because he finally got his back cleared up. Like, he's been playing with back problems for years. And initially we were concerned, like, 7-footer getting back surgery. But
34 years old.
But he's like, I needed it.
Found the youth.
Yeah.
I'm good.
So I say all that to say,
put some vibranium in him.
If you have a vote for Defensive Player of the Year, make it Brook Lopez.
Brook Lopez.
All right. Two things. One question, one point that I forgot to make on my thing, but applies here too. First, the question. I got this from the Dunker Spot podcast. My second favorite podcast after this one. Rank the Bucks' top 3 defenders.
I will go. Shit. I will go Drew, Brook. Oh shit!
Slides in the comments. No beams were lit.
Hell no! Leave that light off. We unplugged that motherfucker.
Brook took it with him. As a matter of fact.
Hold on, he took it to Disney with him. Let me hold on to this shit.
The Bucks' 3 best defensive players.
Rank them.
Because, like she said with Brook.
Well, let's do this caveat here. We're ranking 3 great defenders.
Elite.
So it's not like if you're third, you're trash.
No, elite.
But I'm saying this to illustrate, like, the conundrum that opposing offenses have to go through, where it's like you got Brook Lopez, Giannis, Drew Holiday.
Because Drew cuts the head off the snake. So it's like most of your ball movement, your perimeter shit like that, like, because we're funneling them to Brook, I feel like it would be Drew first.
Okay.
Then Brook, then Giannis. Because, again, the way our defense is set up and the way things go, Giannis is playing free safety, but Brook, he stops all the shit at the paint, but Drew stops all the shit on the perimeter. And he's switching.
Honestly, I don't have an answer to that question. Like, I don't know.
It's wild, bro.
So you're going Drew first, then Brook, then Giannis.
Fuck.
And the fact that probably unanimously we're going to say, like, the third best defender is the defensive player of the year. Or is a former defense player.
Sly agrees with you in the comments, by the way. Y'all in the comments, let us know who y'all think the Bucks' top 3 defenders are in order.
And it's really like, if depending on how you phrase the question, you'll get different answers. So if you say who's their most important defender, it's Brook.
It's Brook, yes.
Who's their most versatile defender?
It's Giannis.
Giannis, probably. Who's like their most technically sound one? Probably Drew.
He disrupts a lot of shit, like the random steals, the random.
Sorry, how are you phrasing the question?
Who are ranked the best defender on the Bucks?
So that's not taking the system into account necessarily.
It's
just defense.
That's the best one.
I want to say Drew because there's so much shit that goes with God.
No, I feel it because that's part of the NBA right there. Shells in the comments. I love when Drew really locks in. The way he maneuvers screens is crazy. That's a fact. You can't he
be moving the little guards too. Like they be trying. No, go over there, bro. I want you to go that way. Go that way.
I am going to go. I'm making the case here. I'm going to go with Brook 1 because in
That's
large
fair.
part, again, this team doesn't work without Brook Lopez. Like it's That's why it's so successful. I'm going to go Brook 1. I'm going to go Drew 2, and I'm going to go Giannis 3. Which again, wow. As a non-Buck fan, I'll be really curious to know what you think.
Oh no, you know he a fan. You know he a fan. He a fan. He been a fan. Like he a Packer fan.
Relax, sir. I'm definitely. Hey, y'all getting a black quarterback though.
Hey, you might as well finish the ride. Go ahead, just put your seatbelt on, bro.
I'm good, bro. But I guess I would go just from what I watch. I would say Drew, Brook Lopez, and Giannis.
Eric, I know you said you didn't have an answer, but
I think whatever you say, Brook, Drew,
Giannis. 2-1-2, yeah. No disrespect to Giannis.
No, like that's
personal.
Again, like I want to highlight the third best defender on the Bucks is Giannis. Good luck. Right. That's what I got for you. My point was, like there are 100 voters on NBA awards for a reason. Like it's okay if you have a different guy at number 1 than I have a guy at number 1 than you have a guy at number 1. Like that's kind of the
beautiful
point. Like you want a cross section of every point of view.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like what's been lost in the conversation is that one, we removed
remove the system.
We remove anonymity from the voting, which is good in one hand because you can hold people accountable, but it also invites groupthink because like nobody wants to go against what everybody else is saying because they'll get called out for it, and then you have to like back up your reason for it. It's easier to just go with the flow. Like that's why Steph was the first unanimous MVP because like they removed like that veil of transparency, or they created the veil of transparency over the whole thing. So like nobody wanted to be
the one voter who your name is always attached to the fact that you were the one that did not let this be a unanimous MVP.
Exactly.
That's what I think. Isn't Shaq, wasn't his one off too?
I think so.
So I think in his documentary, he's I'm still pissed at whoever that was.
I think it was Iverson that got the vote, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Drew
said Drew, Brook, and then Giannis. Which, yeah, I feel it.